What's good, everybody? Welcome into the Early Edge, your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it is not close. It is Bounce Back Wednesday because I told you yesterday, be very, very careful with NBA props in October, heading into the season. Take your unit size down just a little bit. Last night, perfect example, blowout. Steph Curry goes to the bench, doesn't come back in. His prop loses, but the Suns' money line, a nice way to end the night, courtesy, what a shock, of M Squared. But on Bounce Back Wednesday, I got to bring him in my heavy hitters because we've got a full day at the brand. Do not forget that at 3 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon, AB and the boys with our college football mega preview. Oh, this is a show just like our NFL mega preview you do not want to miss to get you ready for the week in college football. All right, let's bring in the stars of the show. And Bounce Back Wednesday, you can't do it without live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M Squared, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody. Excited to see that Suns game last night. What a wild third quarter they had. 7 technical fouls called. Obviously ended up working out in the favor of the Suns here. Love that money line play. I got another one today.
I loaded up on it because I had lost throughout the night. So you know what? I got all kinds of faith in my man. And that was an easy sweat. Not a sweat at all. Now, you know my man live from just south of London, England is here. It's a big day on The Pitch. The guru, Martin W. Green. Good afternoon, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Delighted to be here, as always, with you wonderful gentlemen. I'm feeling your pain on the Steph Curry front. The exact same thing happened with Erling Haaland in the Manchester City versus Borussia Dortmund game. They just took him off. He had a fever. And, he just took a slight knock, and then that's the game done. You can't mitigate for those sort of things. The guy's been on fire, and then, human beings can get ill from time to time, and your whole bet goes out the window. So hopefully we can do some great bouncing back on this glorious Wednesday.
I love it when people actually blame you for them taking him out of the game. You didn't tell me they'd take him out at halftime. Come on, it's sports betting. It's sports betting. It happens. Now, he is our OG of OGs. He is the maestro, Larry Hartstein. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. And I want to start off with an apology for my play in the afternoon show, Jeremiah Robinson Earl. That handicap was completely based on the fact that Giddy and SGA, I thought, were out. All the reports said they were out. Then all of a sudden, SGA plays, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, scores 33 points, takes 22 shots. Now, my guy still went 0 for 7. He still got his shots up. He still could have hit his prop if he hit his shot, but I never would have played it in the first place. And so my apologies, because that info really surprised me right before tip-off when we learned that SGA was going to play. And that drops me to 3-2 on props, and I am not happy about it.
Well, if we have an unhappy maestro, that means we have a dangerous maestro. All right, let's get into it. Storylines. Martin liked that one. I like when I can make Martin laugh. All right, let's get into it. Storylines that could affect the betting lines today. And we are coming to the end, Martin, of the group stage in the Champions League. What does that mean overall?
Yes, Coach. We're in match day 5 of the Champions League group stage. There's only 6 match days, so we're on the penultimate one now. And some teams are on the brink of going through to the knockout stage, and some teams are on the brink of elimination. The top 2 teams in each group go through. The bottom 2 teams pack their bags, go home and watch the rest on TV like us. And yesterday, Benfica qualified for the knockout stage of the Champions League at Juventus's expense after beating the Bianconeri 4-3. I was very pleased with that. If you rewind back to our futures preview show of the Champions League at the start of the season, I said to everyone, Benfica to qualify from Group H at plus 300, and they've pulled it off with a game to spare. So Juventus is the first heavyweight to fall, but it will not be the last, because Barcelona is highly likely to be eliminated today. All Inter Milan needs to do is beat Victoria Plzen, and that would cause Barcelona to crash out of the Champions League. Victoria Plzen are terrible. They've lost all their games so far. It seems like a foregone conclusion. Inter is minus 700 to win that game. I've previewed it on SportsLine if anyone wants to go and check that out. But they're pretty much guaranteed to win that, which would consign Barcelona to the Europa League. that's an interesting prospect as well, because they'll probably be installed as the favourites to win the Europa League, which could lead to some very attractive odds on Arsenal and Manchester United in that tournament. So there's a lot to play for today. There's going to be all sorts of storylines and drama developing, and looking forward to breaking down some games a bit later on the show.
Well, I'm so glad you brought up that futures ticket. It's been blinking in my whatever you call it for like 2 months now because of you. We're going to cash that ticket. I will say, though, that Juventus scoring 2 late goals yesterday, as I had been fecal on the money line, didn't make me feel good. It didn't make me feel good, but they hung on.
It was a sweat. It was a real sweat.
Yes, it was a real sweat. All right, now, there is a team in the NFL, Maestro, that is starting to play like they did at the end of last year. They're starting to get their offense going, and they're starting to look like the best team in the division. Is there value on who?
Cincinnati Bengals plus 170 right now to win the division. The Ravens at minus 160. Both teams are 4-3. Of course, the Ravens have the head-to-head win so far, and the Bengals had a terrible loss to the Steelers in the opener, so they're 0-2 in the division. But look what they've got coming up. Cleveland, Carolina, Pittsburgh, at Tennessee. 3 favorite games. They're favored in the first 3. Right now, it's a pick 'em in Tennessee. So this team, though, has been solid on defense all season, and the offense has absolutely exploded the last couple of weeks, albeit against the Saints and the Falcons, but they're going all shotgun now, and now they're not predictable. Joe Burrow, 10 yards per attempt the last 2 games, the completion rate around 80%. I mean, these numbers are video game numbers, what he's putting up. The running game is effective all of a sudden. The offensive line is coming together. And again, the defense has been there all season. Now the offense is coming around. With the Ravens injuries, even though I do like the Ravens to win tomorrow night, I think there's value on the Bengals. I don't think they should be plus 170.
No doubt. This seems like a steal at this point, but get it in now because you know it's going to change, especially if they win in dominant fashion again this week. All right, now we're going to start doing this from time to time when it matters because nobody is better at weather, at injuries, at all of it than my man M Squared. What do we got in the association tonight, sir?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the weather report. This is the equivalent to the weather report here. Very important. So big list. It's going to be popular like this every Wednesday, really. Justin Holiday for Atlanta, questionable. Scotty Barnes, questionable for Toronto. Big matchup for them tonight. Otto Porter still doubtful to make his season debut for Toronto. For Charlotte, Ball still out. Terry Rozier and Cody Martin both doubtful in this game. Miles Turner for the Pacers, questionable. Devin Vassell for the San Antonio Spurs has been great for them so far this season. He is doubtful to play tonight. Jayshawn Tate, questionable for Houston. For the Lakers, Russell Westbrook, doubtful to play in this game. And then in that same matchup on the other side, Michael Porter Jr. is on the injury report, listed as questionable for the Nuggets.
I really feel like I'm looking at that Nuggets game for in 5 today. I don't know. Right now it's at 5.5, and the Lakers just aren't very good. And the Nuggets are back at home. I'm going to take a look at that game today. All right. It is Bounce Back Wednesday, meaning we're not happy about the X's that we had from our Tuesday shows. So we are locked and loaded. We are laser focused. We're not looking forward to Thursday Night Football. We're looking forward to today. So with that being said, because the first game goes off in just a couple of hours in the Champions League, with all due respect to M Squared, we're going to allow our incredible crew member from across the pond to go first. So Martin W. Green, Guru, if you don't mind. And as you give your pick, there's a question from the chat. Does Liverpool need to win today? The floor is yours.
Need is probably a strong word. A draw would not be the end of the world for them, but they definitely could do with a morale boosting victory after the last game that they had. But my first pick, as you mentioned, it's from a game that's starting soon. I've already billed it. It is the game between Inter Milan and Victoria Plzen at the San Siro. And I'm going for a goal scorer prop, actually. I've got Lautaro Martinez to score at odds of -110. He cannot stop scoring at the moment. He was on target in Inter's crucial 3-3 draw with Barcelona 2 weeks ago. That was the game that basically put Inter into the knockout stage of this tournament. He then fired in the opening goal in a 2-0 win against Salernitana. And he scored twice in Inter's thrilling 4-3 victory over Fiorentina at the weekend. So he now has 4 goals in his last 3 games, which is devastating form for a striker. He's now preparing to face a very leaky Victoria Pilsen defence. The Czech team have conceded 16 goals in just 4 Champions League games so far. That leaves them bottom of Group C with 0 points. They've not been too bad at home in the Czech Republic, but on the road, they've been dreadful, coach. They lost 5-1 to Barcelona at the Nou Camp and 5-0 to Bayern Munich at Allianz Arena. So 10 goals conceded in 2 away games. I think that means they could struggle at the San Siro today, which does not spell good news for Barcelona. Romelu Lukaku's out injured, so that leaves Martinez and potentially Edin Dzeko up front. Dzeko's a brilliant player, but age is catching up with him now. So I think Martinez is likely to be Inter's main goal threat in this game. He should have plenty of chances in front of goal. And odds on him scoring just look really appealing, -110. So that's what I'm going for. As I said, I've also previewed that one at SportsLine, so there's another pick there for you guys too. But yeah, moving swiftly along to Liverpool versus Ajax. Liverpool battled to a 2-1 win against Ajax at Anfield last month. The Reds have won their last 3 Champions League games. They're now highly likely to qualify for the knockout stage of the competition. Don't necessarily need to win this one, but victory would be a big deal for them. They suffered a very disappointing defeat to Nottingham Forest at the weekend. Forest were bottom of the Premier League at the time, so that was a really bitter pill to swallow for the Liverpool fans. However, I just remember the team bounced back in real style after their last defeat. They lost 3-2 to Arsenal on the 9th of October. They responded by thumping Rangers 7-1. They beat the mighty Man City 1-0, and then they beat West Ham 1-0. So manager Jurgen Klopp is going to demand a very similar response from them today. They do have their injury concerns, a lot of players out at the moment. Things aren't looking particularly great for Liverpool, but they still do look technically superior to Ajax, who have lost 3 of their 4 Champions League matches thus far, conceding 4 goals in the process. So I just think Liverpool's superior firepower could be enough to see them scrape victory in this one. Odds of -108 look very appealing. So that's my second pick.
I love when there's a team that has a coach that has pride, meaning every time you walk out on the pitch, they want to tear apart their opponent, regardless. And I love betting on soccer teams like that. I'm learning from you, Guru. I am learning from you.
Educate and entertain. That's what we do.
My man. Thank you. All right. Now, as the Guru said, more picks if you're a SportsLine member. And if you are, you know it's $10 a month. Just for his picks, it'd be worth way more than that. But we have one play from SportsLine itself today. We're going to go with the Pistons plus the 7 in the NBA. And I will remind you again, ease into the NBA season. All right. Plus 7 p.m. Eastern. Our model has the Pistons in a significant advantage to cover about 58% of the time. We'll take that plus the 7. All right. Now, you guys know who I have left. 2 of my very best. I could go either way, but you know where we're going. M squared. People said yesterday that I didn't have the entrance, that I didn't have your intro correct. Maybe that was the problem with the whole show because you hit yours. So on Bounce Back Wednesday, we'll bring back Old Faithful. You know the drill, son! It doesn't matter where the microphone is. You can put your hand under it, over it. It doesn't matter because we are ready for M squared to give it to me.
All right, Coach, let's hit another NBA money line play. We're going with the Philadelphia 76ers here, -115 against the Raptors. Mentioned the Scotty Barnes injury. I'm projecting Scotty Barnes to play, but note it is a right ankle injury. Could leave at any time. Could also sit in this spot. However, I like this matchup for the Sixers. It's a team they're very familiar with. Joel Embiid has had a ton of success in this matchup. James Harden in much better shape right now, playing really well so far this season. I love that they're not afraid to extend his minutes already. We've seen him play 40 minutes twice, 35 in the blowout in the last game. Love this spot for them individually. They're basically identical in terms of pace of play, but the Toronto side is not able to keep up in terms of offensive efficiency. Look for the Sixers to gradually pull away in this game. I like them on the money line, -115.
All right, that is a 7:30 p.m. Eastern start on the very day that our man Kyle in the chat was born all those years ago. Happy birthday, Kyle. Thanks for hanging out on your morning of your birthday with us as well. Quick question from the chat, Guru. Would you like over 3.5 in the Liverpool match?
I could see it 3 or 4 goals. So I'm on the fence on that one. I'm afraid that's not a play from me, unfortunately. Yeah, maybe for a bit more value, I would consider Liverpool to win and over 1.5 goals, or perhaps Liverpool to win and under 4.5 goals, because I can see 3 or 4 in a same game parlay. But yeah, not that one, I'm afraid. Not for me. But good luck.
Good luck. There's a huge difference between 3.5 and 3. Big difference, because 3 you push, 3.5 you wouldn't push on 3. All right. Maestro, there's a matchup tonight in the NBA. A winless Orlando team taking on a very new look Cleveland Cavaliers team who have been playing pretty well out of the gate. What are you looking at tonight?
Well, I'm looking at those Magic. There was sort of high hopes that they would at least be improved with Banchero and Suggs, and so far it hasn't happened. They won 22 games last season. The win total was bumped up to 26.5. Well, they're off to an 0-4 start, and they're big underdogs in Cleveland tonight. Banchero has been as good as advertised, over 20 in 4 straight games, but not a lot else to work with there. And then the Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell, 33 points, 7 boards, over 5 assists. Apologized to the team and the fans for the turnovers that caused the team to have to go to overtime against Washington, and then he won the game in overtime. They love this guy. They're embracing him. They're excited in Cleveland. This is a real home court edge. They should have a big edge inside tonight. This open 7.5. It's already up to 8.5. I wish I had jumped on it earlier, but I love the Cavs. They lost a tough one in the opener at Toronto, 2-0 since then. This is their second home game, fully rested. I think they come out, and look for Orlando. They are 0-3 on the road, 0-3 ATS. I think it's double digits tonight.
Yeah, they're also very, very young, as well. And you got to learn how to play on the road in the NBA. You have no fans, you have nobody, there's no energy for you. You just got to figure it out. And sometimes as a young player, when you come from a place like Duke, it can be a little bit hard to adjust to. All right. Good start to our day. We still have 2 more big shows today, Early Edge and 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Don't forget about the college football mega preview at 3 p.m. Eastern time with AB and the boys. But grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of Jake the Snake on the 1s and the 2s. M squared, 76ers going north of the border to Toronto. We love them on the money line, minus 115. Then the Guru, 2 big plays today. More at SportsLine if you are a member. Martinez to score, minus 110. And Liverpool on the money line, a bounce-back game for them, minus 108. Then the Maestro, 1 play so far today. Cavs, minus 8.5. But you can get all of his plays at SportsLine. And, of course, 1 play from the site. We're going to go Pistons plus the 7. I know it's very easy because I read some of the chat comments that when you go through a little bit of a lull or sports are changing or it's easy to get negative. Don't be negative. This is part of it. We talk about bankroll management all the time. Don't let these days that are Wednesdays or Tuesdays cause you to lose your mind. Stay the course. Stay the process. All right. With that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know. And Buckets, I see you in the chat. What that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. Right, Tire Crew. Love them all. Buckets in the chat. The Guru from London, England. M squared. The Maestro. Jake the Snake. We got it all. And we do it every single day. We grind. This business is a grind. Remember that. And always tune in for the Early Edge. Good luck.